Year, Cassreino. Mr. Cassreino has consistently demonstrated a passion for journalism and a commitment to cultivating and nurturing the talents of many students. He creates a supportive and inclusive classroom environment that fosters creativity, collaboration, and a love for journalism and learning.
Well, thank you to the Journalism Education Association for this great honor. I also want to thank my principal, Dr. Dina Kinsey. She can't be here today, in Madison, Mississippi at St. Joseph Catholic School, and the Catholic Diocese of Jackson for supporting and recognizing the importance and significance of a strong student media program in high school and supporting ours since its inception. And of course, a huge thank you to my wife, Pam, who I dragged here from Madison. Thank you, Pam, for tolerating, and I think everybody can attest to this, the long hours that I put in working with my students trying to build this program into the success that it has been. And I've been able to meet with some of y'all since I've been here. And as I look out at the crowd today and reflect on these past couple of days, I'm struck by one thing that keeps coming back to me over and over and over again. We are doing God's work. I'm a devout Catholic, the product of the Catholic education at Jesuit High School in New Orleans, Louisiana, my hometown. Went to Loyola University for 2 years in New Orleans before I finished my degree at the University of Mississippi. I believe that I was called to teach 10 years ago when I entered the Teach Mississippi Institute and got my degree, my teaching license in an alternate route. Just like I believed that I was called to serve the people of Mississippi by working in newspapers for 2.5 decades. In both instances, I wanted to help people. I wanted to make a difference. As important and rewarding as it was for me to work in the news media in Mississippi, a job that saw me work as a State House reporter for 15 years, as a newsroom editor holding public officials accountable, as a political reporter and political columnist syndicated around the state, as significant as that was, as important as that was, I find being an educator even more important and more significant, because I, like all of you, are able to reach out and help people on a one-to-one basis. It's like the quote from the Talmud, from the book of Jewish law, "He who saves one life saves the world entire." I heard that for the first time in 1993 when I saw Schindler's List, and it's a quote that I'm reminded every day, over and over and over again, and it keeps me going. When I first started teaching in 2011, I taught 8th grade English, which in my school is heavy grammar. So it makes sense. Hire a former news reporter, come in, teach English. Teach students how to write. And I told my students then that I was going to give them the keys to a powerful tool, the ability to communicate and express themselves by properly using the English language, by taking what's in their head, putting it down on paper, making sense, writing succinctly, using good grammar, spelling properly. And if they could do that, they could accomplish anything. Because the key to success is strong communications. When I took over and rebuilt my school's student media program, which was quite a mess when I took it over, and rebuilt it from the ground up beginning in 2012, I told my students then, and I still tell them today, that I was giving them a powerful tool. I tell my students that they can accomplish anything they want if they can communicate effectively through visual, through audio, and through the written word. All of those elements are vital to print and broadcast journalism. So what we do, what all of us here do in our classroom is important, it's powerful, and it's life-changing. And some of our students will go on to study journalism in college. Some will even make it a career, and that's important because Lord knows we need good, strong journalists. When students who go through our programs go into college, they are so far advanced over the students who come in and decide they want to get into journalism. It's unreal. I've had students who've gone on to the University of Mississippi School of Journalism and Media and landed anchor spots on the nightly newscast as a freshman, which is really unheard of. I've had them go on, a freshman of mine went up to Ole Miss and was seen teaching senior journalism students how to edit video. I've had them go on, the same student go on as a sophomore and lead the radio station as news director. So our success can go on and on and on. And I'm sure everybody in here can attest to the same thing. But most of our students won't go on to journalism. And that's okay, because we teach students vital life skills. Life skills they will use throughout high school, in college, and in life as an adult. And that's how I sell my program to my parents. That's how I sell my program to students. What we do in high school student media is more than just teach journalism. Think about it. Our students walk away from our classes knowing how to write. They know how to speak in public. They know how to think on their feet. They know how to research important information. They know how to interview people. They increase their self-esteem. They learn self-discipline because they have to meet deadline after deadline, day after day, week after week. They know how to work as part of a team. All of these are important skills. All of these can be used by any student in any field they decide to get into, whether it's a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant, an architect, you name it. My students have gone on to successful careers in accounting, in law, in sales, and even in the U.S. Marine Corps, all crediting part of their success to the St. Joe Student Media Program. And in this day and age of fake news, of the constant demonizing of news reporters, of newspapers, of TV news shows, of network news shows, of all journalists for that matter, I hope and I pray that my students, whatever field they get into, I hope and I pray that my students walk away with at least one thing from our class. And that's a newfound respect and appreciation and understanding of the immensely important role that journalists and journalism plays in our society and our representative democracy. I know there are good journalists and bad journalists, just like there are good lawyers, bad lawyers, good doctors, bad lawyers. I know, but I can go on and on about that. But I can tell you from my years of experience in the news business in Mississippi and elsewhere, that the vast majority of people who enter the field do so because they believe they were called to the profession. Lord knows they don't do it for the money. Instead, they do it because they have a strong desire to help their communities, to help people, to help their city, their state, their nation. They do it to educate people about complex and complicated issues. They do it to hold public officials and elected leaders accountable. They want to make a difference. And I want my students to understand and appreciate that, because without a free press, without a strong and independent news media that can educate the people about important issues, that can hold public officials and elected leaders accountable, without all that, we're no better than an autocratic dictatorial country like Russia or China. So yes, what we do, what you and I in here do every day, every week, every month, every year is incredibly important. And yes, we are doing God's work. So thank you all. Thanks to Journalism Education Association. God bless everybody. Have a great rest of the day.